Oh, here we go. The Young Guns had 5 hours to tattoo in one of 3 distinct styles: American traditional, Japanese, or new school. This is a blind critique. Let's see how they did. Let's bring up the first tattoo.
Oh no, it's mine.
Overall, I think this tattoo is adorable. I mean, look at this thing, guys. Look at the little teeth and the little lips and the cute little button nose.
I love the illustration. This little boy, this like cold look coming out of the graveyard, but that almost coffin shape behind the tattoo is a little bit confusing to where the boy comes out of it in certain areas, but doesn't in others.
The frog is amazing. I really love the frog. It like really captures my imagination. Then everything else is an afterthought.
I did do it at the end of when I had already designed everything. So he nailed it, yeah.
Bring up the next tattoo.
Oh, it's me.
I think it's a super bold tattoo. It's super American traditional, clean.
The color choices are good. It wasn't overdone with any weird colors that weren't too out of the ordinary.
The saturation is really, really nice. All of the negative space around each petal is dope. It's dope. It's solid.
I was literally scared for you. I thought this is going south real quick or real slow.
I was literally just trying to take the challenge word for word what they wanted. Clean, simple, and like to the point, American traditional.
Let's see the next tattoo.
That is me.
It doesn't scream American traditional to me.
The line weight should have been a little heavier, a little less going on.
Honestly, I really like this tattoo, but come on, it's not American traditional, it's not. When you have different angles and different flips, mandalas and all of these tricks, it takes away from the beauty of the simplicity of American traditional.
I know I took a lot of risks. I pushed it. I was trying to do my own thing.
It was a nice neo-traditional tattoo.
Let's bring up the next tattoo.
That's me.
I think it hits the mark for American traditional.
This has some design issues. The most important parts of the heart are covered up. This has, a balloon appearance.
It looks like when the stencil was put on, it was kind of pushed one way on the top and then pushed one way on the very bottom, so the dagger doesn't look exactly straight to me. And these are the Young Guns doing it, right? This is where experience comes in.
I stand by that tattoo. It's my first American traditional. I'm proud of it. I don't feel like it's a tattoo where someone in the back of the grocery store is gonna be like, so you know what I mean?
Let's bring up the next tattoo.
That's mine.
Nice lines, nice colors.
It's readable, bold, saturated. I think this person is a technician.
Hell yeah.
On the artistic side of it, the ropes could have benefited from separation from the mask itself. They hug it a bit too hard.
But overall, beautiful tattoo, Japanese for sure, and straight to the point.
I'm very happy, I think.
Your tattoo is sick.
Moving on, let's see the next tattoo.
Who dat? Oh, that's mine.
New school, it's vibrant.
I don't really understand what's going on at the bottom. They look like suction cups.
I feel like it's a squid.
But then I think that's like a crab claw at the top.
Look, if you cover those bottom tentacles,
Yep.
it's kind of a cool tattoo.
It's a cool tattoo.
And
like
then
that.
if you cover the face, it's its own cool little character-y, tentacle-y dude. But together, it was 2 pieces that look like they were just stuck together.
It wasn't transition cohesive, how to
Yeah.
feel like one piece.
I just tried to design something that was like me.
Let's see the next tattoo.
Oh, that's my turn now.
I like this one.
Super clean, it's crispy, great composition. The way the petals fall, where the flowers are, the way the ropes frame the piece and flow with the body.
Some of this line work could cut a tomato. It is sharp. They showed us bold lines, thin lines, beautiful clean saturation, and a really lovely, simple, sophisticated design.
I was worried about the line work. I took the longest time on lines. I guess it paid off. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Whew.
Let's see the last tattoo.
This person is a true artist who really understands how to illustrate in a really impressive way. The shapes of the shadows, the facial expression, so many things about this tattoo are really, really impressive.
I just think the technical ability isn't there. You can tell when tattoos are just overdone and overworked, like they kept going over it.
It was punching too much of an area at once at too fast of a rate.
And that's where experience comes in. And that's where young guns sometimes tend to overdo it.
This tattoo is a big deal for me because it's my first time back doing what I love.
There are only 6 spots on the Young Guns team. It's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out. Artists, it's time to get in here. Congratulations, top 4 artists. You are safe from elimination. And you've all secured your spot on the Young Guns. To earn one of the final 2 spots on your team, you must face off in a 5-hour tattoo.
Here we go, another 5 hours.
Today, you had to face off tattooing neo-traditional human faces. Let's see how you did. Johnny, you're up first.
This one's a lot more readable and you can really tell what's going on, but this piece looks a little stiff.
Since you pulled the hair in such a compartmentalized sort of way, I think you missed a lot of movement in the tattoo.
I took that route to go a little bit more sticker and flat.
I do think it's a lot of stuff crammed together.
You know, you got the halo, you got the flower, the jewel, the eye. There's a lot going on in a small tattoo. There's a lot of tricks in there that could have been simplified.
Kat,
No, sorry, knee-jerk reaction.
you're up next.
Hi guys.
You are a very talented illustrator. I love the shine on the nose. The lips are great.
I love the eyebrows. The eyebrows are crispy. Like any female comes out the eyebrow place looking like that, she's like, damn, these are perfect.
But it looks unfinished to me. It looks more illustrative to me than neo-traditional.
That's where you maybe added stuff in that wasn't as necessary for things that would have screamed more neo-traditional.
You fixed the problem we had with you yesterday when it comes to overworking it, but I think you're really overthinking it.
And last up, Trevor.
The ask was a face. I think you could have focused a little more on that. This face kind of playing peekaboo right now. It's like, here I am. But I really like the style of this one. It has that good darkness coming into the light where the rose is kind of glowing.
There's only 2 eyelashes. What it seems like is you stuck 1 eyelash in there, but wasn't sure. Either fully commit to eyelashes or commit to one beautiful one. Color choices are awesome. You know, obviously you do neo-traditional and you hit the mark with that.
Hey, here we go.
Let it begin.
Okay. Here it is.
All right, judges. Today, the OGs had to tattoo in the same style and subject as one of the 4 highest ranked Young Guns.
We'll see how far experience gets you in this one.
I'm excited to see him head to head. You know what I mean? Like tattoo to tattoo.
This is a blind critique.
My favorite.
Bring up the first tattoo.
Hey, that's fine.
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah, I'd say.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's better than pretty good.
Killer dynamic illustration, the movement and the shape of the rope, how it flips into the tassels. The eyes are looking up almost like it has intention.
I even like how the ears are positioned a little bit more high and it almost looks more aware.
Alina's tattoo is an A, but that OG tattoo is an A+.
Holy shit.
You set the bar so high.
Let's see the next tattoo.
That's my tattoo right there.
The Japanese Hanya mask went for a different color scheme.
I like how dark it is. It looks heavy. It has a sense of evil to it.
But I think it's very top heavy. The balance isn't there for the design.
Joseph gets it for me on this one. It's so readable. As for this tattoo done by one of the OGs, it's just a little confusing as to what the star of the show really is.
I think mine has more personality and style, more flow. Like, I did everything from my head. That came out of my soul.
Let's bring up the next tattoo.
That was mine.
Look at how it's illustrated.
It's pretty dynamic.
I mean, the wispy hair, the little lines in the rope and the tassel, it's really cool.
Wow.
I love the way the teeth are just a little different. They're a little bit more realistic. It's so cool because it gives it a life.
Super dynamic drawing. I feel like it has just a sense of ominous, some evil laugh coming from this piece.
Yeah, and I think it might be laughing at the other Hanya.
What? The OG tattoo all day, every day. The detail, the personality, even just the position of the rope is better.
It's impressive, insanely huge.
This is more in my wheelhouse, but my wheelhouse is pretty big.
Let's bring up the next tattoo.
Hey, that's mine.
Ah, the American traditional. Who is Name?
Traditional is really tough because sometimes you see it and you're like wowed by it because it's so clean, so bold. With this, I don't feel that wowed. Like I feel like it's a little light. It doesn't have the punch of color.
The line work is fine. The saturation is not. Every single petal could have been put in with so much more intention.
If we put them side by side,
Look at the two next to each other. Which one has more pop?
love or name?
Love.
I guess you wouldn't put your name on that one.
I definitely feel like I hit the mark more as far as American traditional goes, without a doubt.
It looks like two of the same tattoos, and it's very underwhelming. It looks underwhelming.
Yeah, sure, but if you're going for
Boring.
that vintage.
It's definitely not as exciting as a lot of the other tattoos we've seen up there, that's for sure.
Bring up the next tattoo.
That one's mine.
Definitely huge, definitely solid. The line work is really impressive, but this one is just not very dynamic.
The cherry blossom should have been placed in a more appealing pattern and almost looks like a crown of cherry blossoms.
The hand and fingers kind of don't look like they're the same hand.
I'd like to see them side by side.
Alina took it, for sure.
Young Guns.
Young Guns.
I wanted to come here and show something strong, something bold, something different. I went all in and I took a risk.
All right, let's bring up the next tattoo.
That's mine.
This is a really pretty one.
It's butter.
It's delicate.
Whoever did this has like a smooth, painterly technique.
They have this really buttery blend between the darkest red into a brighter red, and it's subtle.
I'd like to see them side by side.
The problem that I'm having with the OG's tattoo is it's missing the soul,
No
right?
eyeball.
And
I
for
disagree.
Me, with the eyes,
I like the OGs.
if you want to go for the more bubblegum,
I like bubblegum.
I mean, it's bubblegum, but they didn't blow it.
I love that they said it was buttery because that's what I was going for.
Bring up the next tattoo.
That's fine.
Ah, the new school boy holding a frog.
really awesome frog, really awesome foot, really awesome hand, but from the fingers all the way up, it's just a pink blob. There's too many colors in the frog, and then it gets too monotone for the rest of it.
I'd like to see them side by side. I feel like it's a draw for me because I do think the OG pulled out a lot of cool tricks in their tattoo, but artistically speaking, every time I look at Jenna's, I'm drawn into the story.
I think I'm at a draw. Certain things I like about both.
I would like to see what your frog look like in my
Let's combine.
piece, you know? Yeah.
Bring up the next tattoo.
That's me.
Hanya mask.
It's a really cool, badass Hanya. It's got a lot of expression, the little grin.
A lot of effort put in making this thing look really 3D, and colors are super vibrant.
Side by side, which tattoo do you like better?
For me, it's the OGs. I mean, it just got way more character.
The OG's got them on size, on personality, on creativity.
That's it. There are 8 tattoos. There are only 6 spots on the OG team. 2 artists are going home without even moving into a shop.
Coming from somebody who was in the bottom and had to fight again, gear up and get ready.
Assuming we get another one, right?
Bring it. I'm not going home.
Congratulations to the top 4 artists. You are all safe from elimination, and you have all secured your spot on the OG team.
Well deserved.
4 of you remain, but there are only 2 spots left on the team. Pony, Manny, Andy, and Jarrell. You will all have one final chance to save yourself from elimination.
Best luck, boys.
Each of you must face off, tattooing against another artist in a head-to-head battle. Fail to win your face-off, and you will be eliminated on the spot. Today, you each had to face off, tattooing in a head-to-head battle against another artist. Based on your work, 2 of you will secure your spot on the OG team. And 2 of you will be packing your machines.
Respect you and love you no matter what.
Brother.
First up, the face-off between Pony and Manny.
Oh boy.
Pony, let's start with you.
Bro, it's an immaculate tattoo where the light meets the shadow and then folds back on the hand. I really love the way that looks. Diamond's immaculate.
The light source is incredible. The contrast is incredible.
It does have a little bit of a separate feel to me. If it sat in the hand, like it was holding it like this.
I mean, come on.
You stuck one of the coolest diamond tattoos I've ever seen in this thing just for shits and giggles. You nailed it.
Thank you kindly.
Manny.
The play that you brought in with the Hanya as a line work tattoo on the hand was such a cool little trick.
I love that the horns come down the fingers. I love that you stippled it on the fingers where the wrinkles would be.
It's very dim lit. You should have bumped up that light to have some kind of drastic light and shadow from some area in this, but it has a really realistic look. There's a lot of good qualities about this.
You crushed it.
Thank you, man.
The second head-to-head face-off was between Andy and Jarrell. Andy, let's start with you.
The entire trunk, all of those textures are the exact texture they should be, intricate, they're placed perfectly, but when it's texture on texture on texture, you can't appreciate it as much.
The contrast should have been boosted a little bit more, especially under the trunk. You could have blackened out that body part and it would have really pulled that trunk forward. It's gonna make your tattoo look more realistic and last longer.
Jarrell, you're up.
Oh, Lord.
I love the pose of the frog. I think it's really cool, dynamic. Certain areas of this frog look wet and shiny. You hit a lot of the texture, but other than that, you got a dark stick, you got a dark background, and that frog is all one tone.
There is a lot of dark going on, and I don't like overuse of whites, especially in black and gray. I like the breathable of open skin, but it looks like the frog. The shapes are there.
It's actually cute.
Oh, good. Today, you had to prove your creativity with lettering tattoos. Oh, geez. Let's see how you did. Lucy.
You got thrown the hardest tattoo in the room.
I was struggling because she didn't sit well, but I'm happy I finished it.
On creativity day, it's not really creative at all. It's just that normal walk-in, everyday script.
I mean, it's normal script, but the ability to pull this off so clean on one of the hardest areas of the body
That was
is
the
not
creativity.
normal. You absolutely crushed.
Stephanie.
It looks vintage, antique. The reflection on the glass is awesome.
I love the play on the cross stitch. It was like grandma's cross stitch that was like gifted to somebody.
I think this tattoo is getting handed down. I don't think it's going to the yard sale, so I think you did good.
James. It's big, it's legible, it's clean.
This thing is boring, dude. I think you could have brought more of your illustrated background, creating other elements that play around with this and not such giant letters. This is the last thing I thought I would have seen from you.
Oh, God.
It's a tough one.
That was horseshit. Hey.
Anthony. The most successful part of the tattoo to me is like the frame of it, but it's every letter after the P that gets lost.
You crossed that T over the negative space, and on the bottom, you crossed the L and left the T blank. It says dietil.
I see it now, yeah.
I don't think you nailed it on this one.
Tony.
Oh, boy.
This tattoo is totally creative, man.
The embroidery looks lifelike, it looks real.
I love the flip at the top where it kind of came unstitched from the skin. Really cool trick.
Sweet, thank you.
Jarrell.
I do not understand why there are two big blotches. It looks like an ink pen blew up in her pocket.
That scenery's floating. It's like way bigger than the lettering itself. And so it takes away from a cool style of font.
The sun is definitely setting on this tattoo.
All right, young guns, let's see how you did. Joseph.
I like how you went a little wild on the graffiti at the top. I do like the character in the middle of the O.
But I can't read you, and stop looks kind of like shop.
The saturation is beyond choppy. The lollipop on top and the purple is so scratchy. You focused more on quantity rather than quality.
Elena.
It would have been nice if the love and the cool had similar shape and design.
It looked better on paper.
It's hard to read because there's so much skin tone with gray that feels like it was thrown in at the last minute.
Solid black.
Solid
Do that
black.
shit solid black.
It's
Make that
just
goth.
I mean, it's definitely cruel.
Cat.
I like how you switched up the fonts with each word. I like how the mirror kind of has a reflection.
You pulled off a lot of tricks on this tattoo. The line work, color packing, shading, and the black and gray work is a flex to everybody. Like, I can pull these different type of techniques. It's a cool tattoo.
Trevor.
I do think they're really bold. You could read this thing from across the street.
And you could see that it's uneven from across the street. The left-hand side curves up, then it comes down. It's a wonka-donk.
Jenna.
It does look like 3 completely separate tattoos.
He really was adamant on the 3 very different styles for the 3 very different personalities.
I think the guy got exactly what he thought he wanted, but you look at the design and you're like, nothing special.
Jade.
This tattoo is definitely clean. It's put in the skin really nicely.
The biggest problem is that beef. It takes you a minute to figure out.
I personally just don't love bees. I don't know how to flow it.
On letter day, did you get an A? Not to me, you got a B. As much as you hate them.
Today, you had to prove your ingenuity with metallic tattoos. Let's see how you did.
Oh geez.
You're up first.
Pony. It looks like gold is sitting on this person's arm.
100%. It looks like a picture of a gold bust. It has that like heavy metal look.
What's really impressive, on one side, there's a warmer sheen of gold, and on the opposite side, there's a cooler sheen of gold. And that takes a unique eye.
On metallic day, you nailed it.
Thank all of you.
James.
It's so refreshing to see a tattoo that actually carries and conveys an emotion.
He's happy, he's partying.
It has personality, it has character.
I love this illustration. The face is badass, man. Like, you nailed the shine and the glare. It definitely feels gold.
I don't think very many people would be able to pull this tattoo off.
Jarrell.
Okay.
This has a lot of metallic qualities. You got this bright, shiny cow skull against these flat flames.
The color's really solid. I really love the reflections. I mean, that's really difficult to do. A bull skull, all the different transitions and shapes, that took a lot of ingenuity. It's nice to see you shine a little bit.
Anthony.
The chromed out gold plated hot dog is so bold because you did the gold so well.
That metallic technique is much more successful in gold than what you were able to render with the gray tones. The chain looks a little more matte.
But it took a lot of ingenuity to illustrate this hot dog, man. This is really creative. I want to know the rapper's name that would wear this.
Thanks, guys.
Stephanie.
I don't think there's a lot of metal in it, but I do like the reflection on the very top of the carousel. It's simple, but it does have some reflection.
But look at the anatomy of this thing.
From the neck up on the horse, it almost flattens out, looks like a different horse. You're gonna have a hard time sitting on this horse.
But once you get on the horse, where's the horse actually going? Because the back leg is about to fall off the front of the platform.
The chiropractor.
Yeah, I mean, I like this tattoo, you know? I think it's super clean, it's straight to the point.
Lucy.
There is a lot going on in this tattoo. Texture on texture on texture.
I would have loved to see your B a little bigger, a little more readable. The honey has some cool tricks. There's some reflection in there, and it does feel like metal. Pull back a little bit and focus on what's important.
Young Guns. Let's see how you did. Jade.
I feel like it really is shiny.
It has that kind of brassy feel, but I don't like the tentacles. They look a little unfinished compared to how finished the helmet is.
But she showed us flat, large chrome, tiny detailed chrome, matte chrome. You killed it.
Thank you.
Joseph.
There's really no areas on this that show metallic. It's not even reading as armor to me. The black in the middle looks like a cover-up. To me, everything just looks flat.
Metal armor breaking off in chunks. It's a bit weird. Whoever pounded that steel should be fired.
Cat.
I love the way the chrome reflects. It took a lot of imagination and knowledge to draw every plate as if it was body, you know, like the chest and the shoulder.
I absolutely love the nipple rings. It's so ridiculous and cool.
It is a cool, dramatic pose. It's like, oh, my robot partner just broke up with me.
Trevor.
Face is great. You pulled all of these elements in together really beautifully. You showed us different textures, different tones.
But the glossiness in the face, you know, I don't feel like it's really gold. The cheek kind of reads a little gold.
Maybe if you left the cracks out of it, they would read different.
But the bottom gets a little lost. It just doesn't look like metal at all. I hate to say it, but it looks more like a piece of pizza.
Jenna.
I love that you showed us color realism with traditional tattooing.
But the anatomy of the fingers kind of loses itself.
Like, where does that top finger go?
Everywhere that there's supposed to be metallic on this, it just falls pretty flat.
I really do like this tattoo, but the centerpiece of this tattoo isn't metallic.
So originally I was thinking about doing an all gold hand, but I just couldn't make it work with the design.
You should have done the gold hand. That would have said to me, metallic. Today, you had to show composition with Japanese samurai tattoos. Let's see how you did. Trevor, you're up first. The tattoo overall is really pretty, clean, cool, it's different, but the hand's going the wrong way. I think the hand is a mistake.
I saw the hand kind of pulling the sword out this way.
It was a straight up mistake.
It's a left hand on the right hand side of the body. It is a shame because everything else about the tattoo is pretty successful.
I mean, it has great contrast. There's smooth blends in there, nice darks, especially around the eyes, really beautiful.
The hair's pretty, the flowers in their hair is dope.
The hair's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I really wish you didn't miss that hand, man.
James.
This illustration is sick, bro. Even though it's a drawing and a character, I feel like he's a person inside. He's smirking like he's just gonna chop your head off, dude. The composition is super dynamic.
There's really a lot of movement, the waves flowing forward, and then the samurai sword and the blood getting thrown backwards, and then it pulling your eye back in through the back of the samurai.
His face is very much you, and it's like a very confident, I'm killing this. Jade.
In terms of composition, you got a lot right. The angle, the position, how it was cut off. But you should have brought solid black up behind the sword because when your background and your main element is all the same sort of washy gray, nothing holds any weight. It has to have something behind it to really pop it up off of the skin.
Pony.
All right. Composition's pretty good. You have those negative maple leafs that turn to positive maple leafs, and those wind flow lines I think are great. The sword cutting down the center is pretty cool.
You also nailed those hands, dude. And those are small hands, bro. That's hard.
Look at the bangles. They're so good. But all the most impressive parts about this tattoo are in the background or the afterthought. Bring that detail to the front. Put your most impressive skill right main front.
Lucy.
I like the overall composition, the way the waves come down over the knee, the way they're splashing out away from the snake.
The way the snake breaks off, it's like a cheese grater. Just the scales kind of break off, it gets a little confusing.
That's the only part that bothers me, but I love the snake head. I love the eye of the snake. It's so great. I think it's badass.
Thank you.
That snake head was dope.
Stephanie.
I love the cherry blossoms. They flow beautifully. It looks like they're actually blowing and breaking off of the tree.
But it's just the overall pose of the samurai. He's a bit stiff, like he's got too heavy a winter coat on. He can't move his arms.
Joseph.
The gray shading is really nice in this. You have control on the top. I actually really like the way the bull horns are. They're a little light.
I actually really love how you brought color in a totally different style, but I think you overthought it. With the green and the bell and the red, it's 3 elements and 3 colors, and none of them are related at all. If you're gonna bring in a totally different style, it has to have some intention.
Jarrell.
I love this beautiful horse. I love the face. I love how it comes down into the muscle structure. But the horse needed the 2 powerful front legs, so it didn't just look like a puff of smoke.
Everything else, it feels like, just runs together. It's hard to really read if that's a leg. Sort of looks like a leg. It kind of looks like a boot.
The hand that's holding the reins, fingers get confusing. One finger just wraps all the way around into itself. It's a lot to look at and try to figure out.
Anthony.
I like the overall composition of your tattoo. The way you illustrated the nose, it's got great shape and it has motion, but as you go up and it meets up right with the opposite eye, it gets a little confusing.
A lot of the lines in this are all over the place. When we get into those thins, everything has a little bit of a shake to it. If you focus more on cleaner lines in your piece, it would take it to the next level.
Kat.
I am in awe of the control that you have over grays and of the understanding that you have of separating elements. You have every shade of gray in your pieces and they're separated so beautifully, but you never sacrifice detail or interest or creativity. Your tattoos are very impressive.
Hey, here we go.
Here we are. Let's go.
Today, the artist had 6 hours to tattoo a portrait of a service dog. They are fighting for safety from elimination.
What does that mean? What does it mean?
Now, you guys don't know which artist did which portrait. The artists are watching the critique from the design room.
Now I'm scared.
Bring up the first tattoo.
Hey, that's mine.
Such a cool little
bouffant.
tattoo. The super, super curly puff afro on the top was rendered beautifully. I mean, that's the exact texture of that poodle's fur, and that's a hard thing to do. And as that really curly texture comes down to the ear, it gets a little more straggly, and the way this artist rendered that fur is precisely how it is in the reference.
Everything they said is right. I'm amazing.
Too precise, really.
Moving on, let's see the next tattoo.
That's mine.
When you first glance at the reference versus the tattoo, you see that dog's personality, which is really cool.
I love the shiny eyes.
I think they nailed the eyes. I
Yeah.
think the likeness is there. They nailed the tongue. Those little spots on the tongue where they push against the teeth. It's a great tattoo.
Overall, I'm really happy and proud of it.
Let's see the next tattoo.
That's mine.
This tattoo is really well done. It's elegant, it's soft, it's buttery, it's beautiful.
I might be splitting dog hairs here, but when you compare the gray in the bottom to the white background, the value is definitely off. It just needed to be punched up 1 step.
I feel like you're being pretty doggone hard on this tattoo. I see a wet, shiny nose. The eyes are great. It feels like the dog.
It looks like a photocopy. I mean, your skills are crazy.
Let's bring up the next tattoo.
That's mine.
I like the overall shape of the design and how it fits with the diamond, but doing colored eyes on black and gray tattoos, sometimes it becomes too bright.
The golden eyes would have been more balanced if they rendered a larger dog tag in gold as well. So there would have been a balance to connect the eyes to the dog tag.
But I really like the lighting. Those heavy, really open negative areas at the top left. Catch that light. It's a great dog portrait.
I'm pretty happy with it.
It did show you a little more finesse, and I like that.
Let's look at the next tattoo.
That's me.
My favorite part of this tattoo is the nose. That thing looks heavy. It looks like you can squeeze it. The same depth that that nose has, I would like to see in the whole portrait. Those flowers definitely aren't done.
They absolutely hit precision in the expression, but everything looks almost like line work on skin.
The focus is on the dog. That's why I didn't want to put so much detail on the flower.
But you have the best nose.
Let's see the next one. Hey, it's mine.
You can imagine feeling with your fingers the soft ripples of the head and the eyebrows. It's so soft and delicate how it's put in there.
It shows a lot of precision. It shows confidence in punching in those blacks. I love to see people in the mouth just go for the black. It really will read well when it heals.
It's like an amazing attempt at a first portrait.
Let's see the next tattoo.
Wolf, wolf, baby.
I really like that racked focus to where there's a lot of detail up front in the nose and it gets a little blurrier at the ears. It's very like comes at you kind of 3D.
The tattoo is so big that it wraps around the arm, but it doesn't skew the perspective of the dog. It exaggerates the angle that the photo really had.
You definitely proved to all of us that you can do larger tattoos.
I just really wanted it to fit the body.
Let's see the next tattoo.
That is mine.
I am excited to see a first color portrait. It's really well packed and solid, but the bubble kind of gets a little confusing. If you look at the reference where the eye is, the pink highlight, it almost covers that tear duct area. But when you go to the tattoo, the tear duct area kind of overpowers that highlight. And so it creates the illusion that the eye is closer than the bubble.
They did get the shape of the dog right, but they missed the color of the dog, which is like this dark chocolate, and the portrait looks like a black dog.
And I hate to burst the bubble, but I'd like to on this one.
I took liberty on lightening it up, but yeah, I should have kept more brown in the schnoz.
That was a little bit rough compared to your last critiques.
It was. It was hard, guys, okay? We hide our pain till now.
Let's see the next tattoo.
That's me.
Wow, that's a great portrait. It is really striking.
This artist really captured the natural movement of this dog's fur. It feels fluffy, it feels alive. It has a lot of character and it's very strong.
From the wispy ears to the speckled texture right on the front of the muzzle, there's so many subtle details that make this not only precise, but truly expert level.
If I could howl right now, I would.
Well, I'm shaking my tail.
Killed it.
Honestly, after the first challenge here, when I thought I was going home, I never thought I'd get a chance to show off my portraiture skills. Feels kind of good and validating.
Good job.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's amazing.
Lucy and James, you had the two lowest ranked tattoos. What you don't know is this is a double elimination.
I'm sweating where I shouldn't be sweating.
However, both of you will have a chance to redeem yourself. You are moving directly into a face-off, but not against each other.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
You must each challenge another artist in the competition to face off in a direct head-to-head battle, tattooing the same style and subject. Lucy, who do you challenge to a head-to-head face-off?
Joseph?
The first face-off is set. James, who do you challenge to a head-to-head face-off?
Let's do this, Trevor.
Today, you had to face off tattooing in a head-to-head battle against another artist. Based on your work, two of you will be packing your machines. This is a double elimination. First up, the face-off between Lucy and Joseph. Joseph, you called black and gray realistic panda with graffiti. Let's start with you.
I do like that you called the mashup combination of tattoo styles.
I do like the spray paint can drips on the bottom. I wish you would have let it kind of be softer and not lined it.
I really like how you have the drop shadow underneath that graffiti word because it encapsulates the big negative space of the panda and allows it to read really light and really bright white. A lot of areas of the white fur do read as soft and fluffy and beautiful, but that eye should have been bright green. That should have been the connection between the graffiti and the panda.
Lucy.
A lot of your texture in the fur of the red panda looks fluffy, it looks soft. I like the nose, how dark and round it looks with just that little shine on the top.
I love the way the little claws are because it's so soft around it, and then you have these like nice little claws that are like really sharp.
And you put red panda under it in Chinese, in red. You brought the two tattoos together.
This tattoo is a banger, it's badass.
Next up, the face-off between James and Trevor. Trevor, you called black and gray, realistic skull and rose. You're up first.
This rose is stunning.
The grays are very delicate, but very heavy. I love how dark the bottom petal's rendered, but you can still see the shadow and where the separation of light is.
But the top of that nasal cavity is over-textured, kind of just throwaway gray texture to create texture where it really doesn't belong. When you add too much, it takes away from the realistic aspect of it.
James, you're up next. The skull is awesome. It's really readable.
I really love the confidence you had in just putting solid black in a lot of areas where you really didn't need any details.
I like the direction of the lighting. You have this drastic lighting at the top and then these nice shadows on the right side of the skull. I wish you would have repeated that lighting on the rose bud. The center of the rose flattens out. Shadows aren't there.
Today, you had to show contrast, tattooing new school monsters. Let's see how you did. Anthony, you're up first.
Anthony, this thing is sick, bro. This illustration is off the chain. This thing has killer flow. There's a lot of tricks. Just seeing some of your subtle tones where you brought that teal into some gray, this thing's bananas, dude.
Very creative use of the olives for the eyes.
The olives are beautiful.
Yeah, I hate olives and I love those olives. American cheese, we all know, would be better on this burger, but the Swiss cheese for the contrast really brought it home.
I would wonder if I'm gonna eat it or it's gonna eat me.
Better taste the cake, though.
Yeah. Jade. This tattoo is super cute, but it doesn't scream new school monster to me.
There's no movement, there's no flow, there's no pop colors, there's no reflective light. It's just flat. There's a lot of tricks to make it read as new school, and I don't think you did any of them.
Stephanie.
There's tons of contrast in this with the design. You have this soft versus hard, and there's definitely new school in the neck of the guitar.
But it definitely feels like it's a monster in front of a guitar that's busting through or something. It doesn't look like it's one object. Pony, you're up next.
Your color choices are really awesome. They're bold. A lot of the blends are really cool.
I just would want to see like a switch in textures. It's a zombie. I think you could have played around with scabs or little pits in the face or just make that little character look a bit more dead.
James.
This tattoo is badass.
The hands are sick.
I love that you went with 3 fingers.
More cartoony.
Not 4, you went with the 3.
You can see every single joint, how it bends perfectly. The hands themselves have so much personality.
You have these cool little tricks in the tongue. It feels like it's really licking and pressing against that spaceship.
The reflective light is so impressive.
You have this nice purple and then you have this yellow and they're opposite colors, so that's major contrast points. Monstrous tattoo, bro.
You're an monster. Lucy.
I do see new school in the design, the snake head and the skewing of it.
What's scary in this is the technical. From your color choices to a lot of the line work, this tattoo is just all over the place.
For a day where we're testing contrast, there's no rhyme or reason as to why these colors are put in where they are. The skull should have been left negative instead of being this tie-dye of color for no reason that's shaded all over the place.
This one just got away from you.
Kat.
I love how bright that light source is. You really used these colors to show contrast and utilize them in a way where they balance each other so beautifully.
You have that dark, dingy ocean watercolor at the bottom, and it comes up into this brightness at the top. Super successful.
I really feel like you're just hitting your stride because this tattoo is badass. I love this tattoo. Today, you were being tested on adaptability. You had to create a tattoo on your canvas's face. Based on your work, one of you will be packing your machines. Let's see how you did. Stephanie, you're up first.
I freaking love this tattoo. Beautiful, bright. All of the leaves are flipping and moving in the same ways as her pre-existing tattoos.
Taking these other tattoos and connecting them, that's really takes some adaptability to make them look really seamless. I love the flowers.
I love those little buds that come down in front of the ear. This piece fits the side of the head really well.
This is hands down my favorite tattoo you've done. This is rad.
Thank you.
Tony.
This tattoo is sick. The lines are super clean, bulletproof.
I like your really dramatic, heavy, black shaded areas. It lends and holds to that traditional style.
I had something to prove on this one, I feel like.
This canvas is gonna look badass for the rest of his life. Just a straight up, bold, simple, badass tattoo.
Anthony.
It's cool, it has a cool expression, it fits really well.
I like that really aggressive front fangs on the face, but these very repetitive shapes that you brought down the muzzle and throws off the proportions of the wolf. It kind of creates this wider, almost bare muzzle.
The one thing that gets a little confusing for me, it's either spit or like saliva or lightning. Like I wasn't sure what you were going for.
More a saliva sort of thing, yeah.
I don't think you needed as many negative spit streaks. The top one kind of distracts you from the texture of the wolf.
There's just a little bit of issue with readability with those textures right there.
Kat.
I do like the flower in the center. It's got nice light contrast in it.
Beautiful depth in the butterfly, super dope. But the butterfly and the daffodil look completely separate. The daffodil looks unfinished to me.
I just want to take the top two forget-me-nots and just flip that part of the stencil.
I just feel like those flowers are just not necessary.
It just looks disjointed on top.
Jade.
There's a lot of good areas in this. You have your black solid and it's not overworked, but parts of it should be a lot heavier. As it heals, those thin lines on the head are gonna get really faint.
I really don't like the feathers. The way that that bottom feather ends cuts off her jawline about an inch too high. And because the feathers are so light, they aren't really matching the black work feel of the mandala.
I was definitely struggling trying to figure out how to add them.
They look like a forced afterthought. That's what they feel like.
James. This is a badass tattoo. It fits the head really nice.
I like this pose. I like the hand on the sideburn and all the little details you put in the skull and that big open light source at the top. It creates this cool cut into it and it doesn't block out the whole thing. Super smart.
The teeth are really cool. There's like this nice little highlight on each tooth that's really beautifully done. This is a sick tattoo.
So the artists had to prove their versatility with not one, but two mashup tattoos. Round one, the artists had to pick skulls to determine the styles they had to mash up.
Rip that Band-Aid off, please.
Round two, the artists had to pick a mashup they wanted to tattoo from round one. Based on these tattoos, 3 artists are going to the finale.
It all comes down to this.
Let's bring up the first tattoo.
Oh, here we go. That's me.
I love how both individual styles are absolutely distinct.
You see the realism and Japanese in it.
That color's super solid, super saturated. Those lines are super clean. It's a crispy color tattoo. That realism's dope too.
This is amazing realism. It has great 3-dimension and really beautiful textures in it. This artist released the dragon within themselves. This is sick.
Oh my gosh, I was tearing myself up on this one.
Let's see the next mashup.
That's mine.
This artist drew American traditional and geometric.
I like the geometric inside the lantern, and I like the negative flame in there.
The lantern color is really cool. Inside, it almost reminds me of like stained glass.
But I don't like the blue flowers. It's the wrong color, it's busy and complicated.
That being said, they did it American traditional style to a T.
I agree, I should have just kept it simple and done traditional flowers. Hopefully, it'll get me to the finale.
Let's see the next mashup.
There's my golden jewel.
This artist picked biomechanical and watercolor. Yeah, what a weird combo.
Really difficult.
This tattoo looks beautiful, and I definitely see watercolor. I think it's a gorgeous tattoo.
I really like the biomechanical side. These bug-like robotic waves turned to metal. And then I like that the watercolor woman is holding on to one of them and interacting with these bug-like things. You know, it creates this world.
That was the smartest part about this tattoo because there's interaction between the styles.
Well, James, gotta hand it to you.
First time watercolor. You're welcome. That went way better than I thought.
Let's see the next tattoo.
Oh, here we go. That's mine.
Neo-traditional and fine line black and gray.
Where's the fine line black and gray?
You don't think those flowers look like fine line black and gray?
I think they're fine line. Those lines are finer than the ones around the fox.
Fox is beautiful.
This fox
It's
is
foxy.
beautiful. It's elegant. It has so much flow. Even the pose and the position of the fox.
It's a big, beautiful tattoo.
That fox is so nice.
Thanks. There's no watercolor, but.
Moving on.
That's mine.
This artist chose New School and Surrealism. New School would be the skull.
What's the surrealism aspect of it?
I almost feel like this tattoo hits more realism than surrealism, you know, because of the shadows and the way they fall, they look so realistic.
Even if you look at how all the paper is ripped on all of the edges.
Like fuzzy, cool, yeah, it has a different texture.
I love the
Those
paper.
are cool tricks, badass.
It's cool paper, man.
So cool, yeah.
Cool trick. I'm pumped about it.
So that was round one. Now we move on to round two. In round two, the artist could pick any tattoo that wasn't their own, same styles and same subject.
Round one, their fate was all determined. Round two, they get to choose their own fate.
Yeah. All right, let's bring up the first tattoo.
Okay. Mine.
This looks like it's the New School Surrealism.
It's crazy how the butterflies are breaking off the skull, which is a really cool, surrealistic idea.
Definitely exaggerated proportions on the skull. The color's put in super solid. It's a cool mix.
You killed me on that one.
No, I don't know. Let's see.
Let's look at this side by side with the round one tattoo.
The second one, both styles are really definitive. The first one, it's kind of hard figuring out how surreal it really is.
Oh, yeah, dude, that tattoo is so badass, though.
Yeah.
That's what our guts feel like. Just an explosion of butterflies.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the next round two mashup.
This piece is sick. Super smooth black and gray realism on that back dragon. Foreground, really clean. That teal is so saturated. And this front dragon just has so much emotion to it, and it's different and modern.
Dragon's real wonky and cool. I love the spine. Scales are sick. I love the belly. It's got a lot of personality.
It tells a story to me in a really cool way.
The illustration is just cool to look at.
Let's look at it up against the other Japanese realism tattoo.
Two completely different styles when it comes to the illustration, but these are pretty neck and neck.
These are two badass artists right here, man.
Well, here I am with my tattoos head to head against James twice.
All right, let's look at the next round two mashup.
That's me. Here we go.
Did anyone think we'd see more than one watercolor biomechanical mashup?
Definitely not.
I definitely did not.
I think it's a cool illustration. The chest panel on it got that bio-y feel. I do see the watercolor in the face.
This absolutely hits both styles.
I just don't really understand the background.
I'm picturing this tattoo without the background.
Afterthought.
I don't even think it needed it.
It doesn't look watercolor or bio, and I feel like it takes away from both of those styles.
At least I said I hit the 2 styles.
Let's look at the next tattoo.
Is this another bio watercolor?
The styles don't scream as loudly at me. It's not as obvious to me.
Maybe it's the face of a futuristic robot lady.
This is a gorgeous tattoo.
Yeah.
From the highlight under the eyebrow, how it dips into the shadow and then gets lighter again as the eye rolls out. And I do like the circuit board feeling of it to make it feel digital.
Let's take a look at all 3.
The first one is blatantly those 2 styles. The middle is a great design, but I have to search for the styles I'm looking for. And the last one, I like the design the most.
This tattoo is incredible.
But is it a mashup?
Does it hit those styles?
At least I did something that I love and I feel like represents me as an artist. Just looking at all 3 of these makes me kind of giggle. It's so different.
So let's take a look at the last mashup tattoo.
That's mine.
Someone chose the lantern.
I love the gold. It's got a lot of tricks and light source, which is really difficult in traditional.
I like how they did fireflies with no geometric in them.
The geometric is in multiple spots, but it's definitely more balanced.
Let's look at it side by side with the other lantern from round 1.
They both hit American traditional. They both hit geometric.
I do think the second artist edged out the first artist by taking it to that next level.
There you go, Pony. Like they had me down in the dirt, ready to be buried, and they're like, this lantern's sick.